Hi there. This video is about Bernie Sanders' efforts with the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Democrat Party platform. Bernie Sanders has been very forcefully and assertively working to reform not only the Democrat Party but the Democrat Party's platform. And he's won several concessions. But I first wanted to address the tried and true wisdom that the Democrat Party platform doesn't matter, that it's not binding, and that it's unenforceable, and it's a distraction, and it's a waste of time, and it won't matter, and therefore, who cares? Um, hmm, I'll tell you this. Anytime you let anyone take a step in your direction and you don't check them, that means they kind of have the idea that um, they can take two steps your direction. So if you don't fight back, people will run over you. They will walk all over you. And that's including politicians, that's including big business, that includes just day-to-day life. You have to draw a line in the sand sometimes, and just define your territory and your space in the world. Otherwise, you'll get crushed. And Bernie Sanders is a fighter. He's not one to let people step on him. And it's not even about him, really. It's not about his ego or anything like that. He's not fighting for himself. He's fighting for you and me, the ordinary citizen. He's drawing a line in the sand. There's been so much corporate overreach. There's so much greed and grasping plays for influence and domination and power and control over our lives, to the point that we've come now to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is the very final last step before we just tumble over the abyss, and we won't even have a government anymore. Our government will be Monsanto telling us what we're going to eat, and if we don't eat what they give us to eat, no matter how foul and poisonous and frankenfood-like and degenerate the food is, that's our food because Monsanto said so, and our government will be powerless to protect us. We won't have consumer protection. We won't have food safety standards, nothing, no FDA, nothing. Monsanto will be our government. Monsanto will be our FDA, shoving food that we don't want to eat down our throats. And if we complain, if we cause enough stink about it, then Monsanto will sue our government and likely win. This is what we're coming to. We're coming to a place where big business like, I don't know, Walmart, Keystone XL Pipeline, fracking companies, oil and gas industry, basically anyone will rule our lives. They'll set up an oil derrick on our in our backyards, and if we say anything, then the government will likely take their side so they don't get sued. We won't have any protection at all, no environmental protection. If there's lead in the water, oh well, we try to do something about it. Well, I think that will be considered the problem rather than the people who are actually allowing this poisoning of our water to happen. So Bernie Sanders is stepping up. He's saying that this far and no more. And in fact, why don't you take 10 steps backwards? The platform fight is maybe a signal to big business that their dominance, their time for dominance over our lives is over. Their use of our politicians to oppress us, that time is over. That there's a new sheriff in town, his name is Bernie Sanders, and that whereas the Democrat Party platform prior to the new sheriff coming to town, maybe that was unenforceable, but Bernie Sanders will see that it does get enforced, whether he is a senator within the congressional body or whether he is the president. He's going to see to it that the Democrat Party platform is enforced. This is a new day. This is Bernie Sanders on the political scene. This is not Hillary Clinton. This is not Barack Obama. This is not Bill Clinton. This is Bernie Sanders. Whereas before, maybe it was a piece of fluff and stuff that nobody cared about, but I think Bernie does. And he's basically a man who says what he thinks, and he's saying that no, this piece of legislation is not going to come to the floor. He's going to do everything he can to make sure it doesn't. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, he does not want that to even come to the floor for a vote, whether this summer or the lame duck session. And he's trying to get a commitment from Hillary Clinton, one, and then also the Democratic National Committee, two, that they will come out and forcefully denounce the Trans-Pacific Partnership as the corporate overreach that it is. Basically, environmentalists, labor unions, medical professionals, religious groups, social justice groups, environmental justice groups, every major political presidential candidate, including Donald Trump, Jill Stein, Bernie Sanders, and then Hillary Clinton have said that they are against Trans-Pacific Partnership. Bernie Sanders is pretty transparent in his speaking. If he says he's against it, he's against it, and he can be believed. Hillary Clinton, we're not really sure about that. She says she's against it, but she helped to create it, and not only that, she helped to create NAFTA. So her claim of being against the Trans-Pacific Partnership is dubious. Donald Trump has said that he is against the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and that he's also called on Hillary Clinton to denounce it. So both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders have asked for Hillary Clinton to speak more forcefully against the Trans-Pacific Partnership to reassure the public that she is indeed against there ever being a vote on it, and she has not. While Donald Trump is against the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Republican Party is for it. So there's some discrepancy there. Jill Stein is against the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and then her party, the Green Party, is against the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Gary Johnson is flexible. He can be for it or he can be against it. It's this or that. So there's just a little bit of ambivalence with certain candidates in the race. And the fact that Hillary Clinton hasn't even gone so far as to take a leadership role within the Democrat Party and fully denounce the Trans-Pacific Partnership is worrisome. And it's almost like a wake-up call, this fight over the Democrat Party platform. The fact that fracking is still on the platform and that there's not a carbon tax on the platform. There's some serious environmental concerns that are being left as a part of the Democrat Party platform. There's been some concessions. Bernie Sanders has won many concessions, but it does appear that there are three deal breakers for him. And, I agree with him completely. Trans-Pacific Partnership, absolutely not. He's saying that we must get this off and it's not negotiable. No Trans-Pacific Partnership. 2, no fracking. Fracking causes groundwater to be poisoned, and then also it causes seismic activity, which leads to earthquakes, and it has a negative effect on the living standards of people who are in that area. And then also the carbon tax, which would be useful for generating income to repair our infrastructure and maybe invest in alternative energy sources. So there's still some more work to be done. The Democrat Party will meet again to finalize the language of this platform on July 8th. And I think it's important for people to pay attention because, again, it's a new year and a new day in politics. Things are different this year. We've got world-ending legislation that's possibly coming down the pipeline, and to dismiss the language against this trade deal in the Democrat Party platform, I think we shouldn't let things get by without a challenge. Bernie Sanders is coming out full force against this. He's displaying his strong hand, and I think it would be nice if the people he were fighting for actually paid attention and maybe gave him a little bit of support on that issue, rather than kind of laying back and saying like whatever about it. Trans-Pacific Partnership has the ability to ruin lives beyond what NAFTA ever could have dreamed of doing. If you ever paid attention to anything in politics, pay attention to the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the person who's fighting against it on your behalf.